Madam Speaker, I'm happy to yield 5 minutes to my friend and colleague, the gentleman from New York, Mr. Weiner.
The gentleman from New York is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. First of all, I think that I speak for all of our colleagues and all of us here in paying tribute to the 137,000 some odd American men and women who are fighting in Iraq, the 25,000 or so men and women that are fighting in Afghanistan. We are here to do what we can to honor them. We are trying to express our patriotism. We are trying to do what we're obligated to do by standing up here. The notion that it is our patriotic duty, our obligation to sit silent and to do whatever the President thinks is best and blindly walk in that direction, that is not the way to honor the troops that are there. I can imagine the challenge that they face every single day. And would the message going back to them be most appropriate that just as often as they wake up in the deserts of Iraq trying to figure out why people are shooting at them and what they can do to stop, they should know that every single day we here in Congress are trying to think about ways to make their mission safer and make it more possible for them to accomplish their mission and to extract them as soon as possible. We pray that they're successful. I pray that although I strongly oppose the President's initiative, I'm going to vote yes on this resolution, I pray that they're successful. I pray we don't lose another life. We want them to be successful. But it's not enough just to be silent and to be prayerful. We also have to act. You know, some in this chamber have objected to this resolution because what it seeks to do is to do two things. One, the thing that I've done already, which was pay tribute to the troops, something we all share in doing. And two, is begin on a path of oversight. It is not surprising at all to hear my friends on the other side of the aisle have such a difficult concept with this idea of doing oversight over something the President proposes. They've done no oversight over how the money's been spent over there, and so as a result, we found out in the first month of the Democratic Congress that a $12 billion pallet of currency was delivered to Iraq and promptly disappeared. We had hearings last week that showed that even Mr. Bremer and officials on the ground from the administration have no idea where $12 billion disappeared to. So it's not surprising that my Republic friends have a difficult time figuring out what it is we're doing here. We're doing oversight, and we're going to do more of it. We're going to do oversight over the equipment that the troops had. This weekend, there were stories coming out of Iraq that Iranian-built armor-piercing projectiles were being used in roadside bombs. It reminded us again that the troops had been sent there without sufficient hardware, without sufficient protective gear, without sufficient armor-plated vehicles to be able to do their job. We're going to do oversight on that as well. And I have to say that as part of the oversight that we're doing today, we're doing oversight on how the troops are being used. And let us not kid ourselves. The troops have done a remarkable job. They've done just about every single thing we've asked. They brought down a dictator. They set up a trial. They allowed a government to be stood up. They built roads and bridges. They've done an extraordinary job, and we in this House support them in that work. But now what is their mission? Their mission is essentially to stand in the middle of a shooting match of the worst order. It is not over a patch of land. It is not a shooting match over what a border is going to be. It's not a shooting match even over oil. It's a shooting match of the most ingrained type between Shia and Sunni that goes back hundreds of years. Are our troops going to solve that conflict with 20,000 troops or 40,000 troops? I don't believe so. And even worse, I believe it's an untenable mission to be giving them. They are essentially in a schoolyard where everyone wants to fight. And I have to say to my friends on the other side of the aisle, over and over and over again today, I have heard this dynamic being described, that if we were to leave or to support this resolution, we would let down our allies, we would embolden our enemies, and we would betray the Iraqi people. In fact, this policy does all of those things. Let's look at it. What does this policy say to our allies? Well, it says to our allies in Afghanistan, we are not going to devote the resources there necessary for you to do the job. This isn't an abstract notion. You can watch it happen every single day. So long as we have 140,000 troops or 130,000 troops in this shooting match largely in Baghdad, we are watching as Afghanistan slips further and further back into the hands of the Taliban. We've heard, for example, from our so-called ally, the Saudis. And what have they said? They've been most telling. They said recently, well, to you, the citizens of the United States, if you pull your troops out, we're going to be forced to put resources in to support our Sunni brethren. Well, may I have further time?